You find yourself with peppers in your garden. Either you're growing them because you like to eat them, someone in your family likes to eat them, or you're growing them to give them away. However you find yourself growing peppers, you have peppers. You ask yourself, if you eat them, what do I do with these peppers? There's only so much I can do with these peppers. Well, I like Sriracha. My family likes Sriracha. I got tired of buying Sriracha, so I said, let me see if I can make Sriracha. So I began to grow Fresno Peppers. I happened to find a plant this spring. I bought one plant thinking it would be sufficient. I soon learned that I need more, so in my garden next year I will have more. But I'm going to turn these peppers into some Sriracha because one of my subscribers, at least I think she's a subscriber, sent me a message and said, hey, I would love your recipe for Sriracha. So I'm going to show you how I make my Sriracha. And in the description box below, I am going to put down instructions and ingredients to the best of my ability, because if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I am not good with giving you the cup of this, pinch of that, tablespoon of this. So I'm going to do my best to put the ingredients in the description box below. So join me in the kitchen and let's make these homegrown Fresno peppers into Sriracha. Alright, first off, I've washed off all of these peppers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the tops off and I'm going to take the seeds out. Now I've let these sit for a couple of days just to make sure that they're absolutely ripe. And you know what? I'm going to save these seeds because guess what? We're all about saving seeds, right? Saving seeds is good for us. That way we have seeds for our garden next year. Now, I do want to tell you guys that I have harvested many seeds from this plant this year. So I actually have an overabundance of Fresno pepper seeds. So if any of my subscribers are interested in some of these seeds, just let me know, send me a message, and I'll make sure that I send you some of these seeds. If you have never had Fresno pepper, don't know anything about Fresno pepper, you've never seen a Fresno pepper in your area ever before, I'm willing to part with some of my seeds because I do have enough to share. And so I'm willing to give some of my seeds over to my subscribers. All right, so let me not harvest those seeds right now because I can get sidetracked. I'm not harvesting seeds right now. I am trying to just take the seeds out and put them to the side, and I will process them later. But this is what I do. I cut the tops off. I take a small little knife and I take that seed pod out, trying not to take out the meat, because I want to keep as much of the pepper as I can. And I'm not going to take all of these seeds out. I'm going to leave some of them inside the pepper because I think it looks nice inside the Sriracha. And I do believe, if my memory serves me correctly, that also helps with the heat. So I am just taking the tops off of these peppers. And I'm not going to sit here and do all of these tops because you've seen me do a few. And I have a little container over off to the side that I'm putting these tops. These tops are going to go into the compost. Nothing is going to go to waste in this garden. There's going to be compost, and there's going to be seed saving. And of course, the end result is that beautiful Sriracha. So now that you've seen me core out these 3 peppers, let me get the rest of these peppers done, and then I'll be right back. I have cored the peppers, and I have moved the seeds off to the side. Now, before I get into this, I want to let you guys know that these are spicy peppers. So it's recommended that if you're working with peppers, that you cover your mouth and nose, don't breathe in the spices, as well as wear gloves on your hands. I just rinsed my hands because this will get that hot capsaicin capsaicin onto your hands, and you don't want to get that near your eyes, your nose. Your lips will tingle and burn. So just be really careful when you're working with peppers. You want to make sure that you're protecting your eyes, your nose, your mouth at all times. And as you can see, I don't have on any gloves. I've worked with these peppers before, so I know how hot it is, and I haven't had any issues with it hurting my skin at all on my hands. And I'm trying nowadays not to put my hands in my nose or my eyes or my mouth. Not that I put my fingers in my nose, but you know what I mean. I try not to put my hands in my face with everything going on right now. So now that these have been processed, we're going to put them in the food processor. I just broke down and I got a food processor today, just something small and inexpensive. What I was doing before to process them, I was processing them by hand, and it was just getting a little bit cumbersome, and I didn't want to continue on with that because I do plan on making this a part of my regular everyday condiment. So I just picked up an inexpensive food processor, and so now I'm going to just process them down. It's going to be loud. I may end up blocking this out so that you guys can't hear it. So I'm going to turn it on the lowest setting that I have. Oh, I guess it would be okay if it would work if I plugged it up, huh? I forgot I unplugged it earlier today. All right, let's try this again. Y'all know that happens to you in your kitchen. Don't laugh. That sounds kind of weird. Okay, I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to blend it a little bit more. Okay, I turned it on high and I blended it a little bit more. I just did not want it to make a really loud noise on camera. Now, here is where you have to be careful. When you open this up, it is going to have a very strong smell of pepper. And so I'm hoping that I don't choke myself like I did the last time, because that does happen. And that is what it looks like. Now, I want it to be a little more less chunky. I want it to kind of emulsify. So let me scrape it down. Let me get a little spatula over here. What did I do with it? I do apologize. I thought I had everything, all of my tools, but I have to reach behind me and get a little spatula. And I'm going to take this, well, I'm going to leave that blade in there. I don't want anything to fall in the blade area. Ooh, yes, that's spicy. I'm trying not to breathe, y'all. So all I'm doing is I'm just scraping it down off the sides, trying not to breathe in heavily, because the last time I did this, yeah, I was in here just a coughing up a storm. All right, let me put it back on and blend it again. Hang on, I'll bring you right back. Now, once you have blended down your peppers, you just take a thumb, half of a thumb piece of ginger. Ginger is really strong, so you don't need a lot of it. You just take a little nub of it. And let's see, what did I do with my knife, y'all? Here it is. See? I don't want the big one, I want the little one. Move that one out the way. And I'm going to peel my ginger. I've already given it a rinse, but I'm just going to peel it like so. And you can peel it however you want. A lot of people go, oh, you're wasting your ginger. You should peel it with a spoon. Do whatever you like in your kitchen, okay? I just use a tiny little knife and just scrape off. And if there's some pieces I don't like, I take that off too. Just like that, I'm just peeling it. Now I'm also going to cut off this little end piece because I don't like how it looks. That little dry piece. Just chop that off like so. Just like that. So all you really need is a little nub of ginger. Just a little nub like that. Take that little piece out. Don't like how he look. So I'm going to place this ginger inside of the food processor, just like so. And I'm also going to get a little piece of garlic. Let's see. I know I've got some that's in here that's already open. It's going to take. Here we go. Close that back up. And I just take a little piece of garlic, about that size, and I'm going to take my big knife and I'm just going to smash it just like that. And then I'm going to peel off the paper, exposing the garlic like so. I'm going to cut off that piece that the root would have grown out of, just like that. And this is going to go into the food processor. Excuse me. All right, let me show you the food processor. There we go. So you have your peppers, you have your garlic, and you have your ginger. All right, so I am going to turn it on. So hang on. I hope it's not too loud. All right, now I'm going to scrape it down, make sure that I got it really good. Just like so. There we go. And I'm going to blend it one more time. All right, so hold that thought and I'll be right back. Now that we have our peppers, our garlic, and our ginger all blended down, now we're going to take it and we're going to put it into a bowl. Move you guys down a little bit. And again, I have to continue to caution that these peppers can make you have a choking fit, so please be careful. And so you just go ahead and you take that pepper out, that pepper, garlic, and ginger mixture. You take it and put it into a bowl, one that you can cover with a top. And I'm trying to get all of my pepper goodness out of there. I do apologize, but I'm trying to make sure that I get all of my goodness out of there, y'all. I worked hard for these peppers. Oh my goodness. Babying those pepper plants, making sure they got the right amount of nutrients and water and sun. And yes, I want to get all that pepper out of there as much as I can. All right. Okay, now that you have all of your pepper out of your food processor and into a little bowl, now you add your salt and your sugar. Now I'm going to get a little measuring spoon only because I don't have any other spoon sitting over here, but I'm not going to be using it as a measuring spoon. I'm going to be using it as a spoon just to grab the salt and the sugar. Now I'm going to be using some pink Himalayan salt. You use whatever salt you like. It doesn't require a particular type of salt. And I'm just going to get just a smidgen of salt. Excuse me. See, I'm already feeling like I need to cough, and all I did was walk over here. All right. I put a little smidgen of salt. I feel like that's a little bit too much. I'm not a big salt person, but I put a little smidgen of salt in there. Excuse me, in there. And I'm going to close the salt up. I think I need to close the food processor because I feel like I am just going to have a coughing fit. And I'm just standing here next to it. All right, now the next thing is you would put some sugar. I'm going to use some granulated honey. You use whatever sweetener you want. It calls for sugar, but I do understand that there are people with different requirements. So use whatever sweetener you feel is best for you, okay? And I'm going to put just a smidgen of sweetener in there. Just like that. Just a little bit. And I think I might put just a tiny bit more. Just because when I looked at it, I feel like I need a little bit more. All right, so a little bit more. And I'm going to close this up. There we go. And now I'm going to take this here spatula and I'm just going to mix it up. Just like so. And you would like to think that this is done, but it isn't. Sriracha is a fermented pepper. So this has to ferment for a good 5 days, give or take. I like to let mine sit 5 days and then I bottle it up. I will be actually putting it back into the blender. I'm sorry, the food processor with a little bit of vinegar after those 5 days. And then I will put it in whatever container I want it to go in. So I'm just mixing up the salt and the sugar. Can you guys see that? I hope y'all can see that. I'm just trying to mix the salt and the sugar up really well. That salt is going to keep it from hopefully growing any kind of mold and fungus. You want to make sure that you check this every day and stir it. You want to stir this every day for 5 days. So I am done stirring. I'm going to cover this with a top. And then I will be back in 5 days. And we will finish our sriracha. So this is just the first step. Be back in 5 days. All I'm going to do now is put some plastic wrap on top of this. And let it sit. It is time to finalize the sriracha. It hasn't quite been 5 days. I've got about maybe 2 more days to go. But I've been watching it every day. And as you can see, the salt has begun to pull out the liquid in the pepper. And it's really turning a really beautiful deep color. It smells like it's fermented. It tastes good. And so I'm going to go ahead on and bottle it up because, again, I didn't have very many peppers to start with. And this is a process that you have to be very mindful of to make sure that there isn't any mold growing on top of it. I didn't have enough peppers, so I didn't have enough juice to make sure that it was properly submerged. But as you can see, that it's rendering its juices, but I just don't want to take the chance. So I'm going to go ahead on and add some apple cider vinegar to it. And I would normally blend it down so that you would not see the pepper at all, but I just don't have enough to blend down to make it smooth like the bottled sriracha that you eat in the store. But you know what? I really don't mind that it's kind of chunky like this because I can put it on eggs. I even like it on popcorn, believe it or not. And I'm going to put about a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. I just poured it in. I didn't actually use the teaspoon, but I just eyeballed it. And I just poured it in, and I'm just stirring it around just like that. And that's going to make sure that it's preserved. And then you bottle it up. If you have more peppers, then you can turn it into the type of sriracha that's, I want to say liquidy, even though I know that's not a word. But you know what I mean. Smooth. versus having it look more like a salsa like I have. But I like it this way. And I put it on almost everything. I really like it. I use it as a condiment. I don't eat ketchup. And so I like a little spice, and this is perfect for me. So this is Sriracha, and you guys can borrow it and make it your own. You can blend it down if you have more peppers and turn it into more of a liquid versus a salsa kinda. But this is how you make my homemade Sriracha. Thanks for watching. Peppers have been processed and they must sit and wait for 5 days in order to ferment. I just wanted to show you how many seeds came out of those few peppers. So I'm going to finish cleaning these up, getting off all of any of the pepper bits that I can, and I'm going to let these sit and dry. Excuse me, and dry. And these will be seeds that I will be able to give away, and I have several more in another bag. So this is just what I wanted to show you guys of how many seeds come out of those peppers.